What is a trust? Before we talk about revocable trust, living trust, irrevocable trust, I think it's important that we all understand exactly what is a trust. Well, under the law, a trust is considered an artificial person, which you create. Now, when I say artificial person, I think the best analogy to explain this would be that of a corporation. You could have your own business, the John Jones hardware store, but many times people incorporate their business and it's the John Jones hardware store incorporated, which means you still own it. However, it does business as a separate person, as a corporation. Well, so too in the case of a trust. A trust is considered a separate person, a separate entity. In the case of a trust, this is an entity or a person that you create. The person creating it is called a grantor. After you create a trust, you then decide who is going to be in charge of the trust to carry out the terms of the trust. That person is called a trustee. And finally, the terms of a trust will say who will ultimately benefit from the trust. And obviously that's called the beneficiary. So those are the basic elements of a trust. And incidentally, the word trust actually has a significant meaning. Way back when, if someone had a piece of property, say a watch, and I have a watch, and I want to make sure that when I die, my son gets my watch. But I don't want to hold on to my watch now. So I give you my watch, and I tell you I want you to hold this watch until I die, and when I die, you'll give this watch to my son. In effect, I trust you. I'm setting up a trust in you to hold a piece of property and do as I'm asking you to do, which in this example would be to give it to my son when I die. So too with a trust, we set up the rules of the trust, and then we place in the trust property, and we set up the rules as how that property is going to be administered or handled, and then we say who will receive that property when the trust has ended. That essentially is what a trust is. There are different types of trusts. There are revocable trusts and there are irrevocable trusts. The difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust essentially is that a revocable trust means you can revoke it. Revocable means you can change it. Once you make it up, you can destroy it and there is no trust. Irrevocable is a trust that once you create, you cannot change. It's not revocable. Both of these trusts are used in estate planning for different reasons.